Alright, welcome back to the Supercoach Nuff channel. In this video, we're going to review Game Week 11 of the 2024-25 Fantasy Premier League season. So what was a good week? I guess looking at the average of 49, we scored a 71, which was good enough for a 700,000th for the round, and has seen us creep back up into the top 1 million overall. So trending in the right direction, which we love to see. So in goal we had Kelleher, who kept a clean sheet, couple of massive saves against Villa, so cheering about that. Gabriel with just the 2 points, pretty sure that was goal conceded. Yeah, so that's okay. Alexander Arnold, even though there was a clean sheet, only getting the 1 point. Only played 24 minutes and then went off with the injury. So potentially might be in our trade plans for the upcoming game week. Lewis with the 0, just Man City conceding a couple. He got a yellow card. Aït-Nouri with 6, so that was from a clean sheet against Southampton. That's sort of what we were hoping for. So it would have been worthwhile. Oh, we did play him, sorry. So used to him being on the bench, even though he's clearly sitting on the field. Johnson blanked despite, I think he had something like 0.7 expected goals. So had a few chances, just couldn't convert. Mo Salah, the captain, the king, 14 points, which obviously doubled, helped a lot. And Brian Mbeumo with 5 points, so that's normally an assist. Yep, so an assist there. So considering they scored 3, would have been nice to see a little bit more, but you take what you can get. And then our forward lines, so no blanks here. Jimenez with an assist, Haaland with an assist, but Liam Delap was the star with a goal and assist. Haaland scored a goal, didn't he? Yeah, sorry, a goal. I always forget the numbers different up front. So Jimenez, yeah, he did get an assist. So 5 points there. And Delap with a goal and an assist, so scoring the 3 bonus points as well. So 11 points in total in their upset win over Spurs. On our bench, we left a few points on the pine with Smith Rowe returning 11 points. So just can't seem to jag that, rotation right. Justin with a single point, Rogers with a single point, and Sanchez scoring 2 points for the non-clean sheet. But before we talk transfers, we'll have a quick look at the league. So back up into 4th, where I've been pretty comfortable this year. So a solid win in the end over the East Valley Vikings, Matt's team. So with a 36, and then had to chop a few points off for transfers. But not a lot going on in defence, 2s and 1s. So Palmer blanking doesn't help. Captain Solanke blanking probably wasn't expected either. I guess only Isak and Odegaard, doing the business this week. So Isak's an interesting one at 8.4. Couple of good fixtures, but then does run into Liverpool coming up. Just go back to the league and have a bit of a look around. So had the same as Shoab, but Hematoma, 82 points, continuing to charge out in front of us in the overall. So into the top 35k, might as well say 32.5k overall. So Ryan, you are killing it. Let's have a look. So he has Visser, who got 13. Garnacho got a return. Pickford in goal with 11. That's massive. How do you get 11? Clean sheet, 6 saves, 3 bonus points. Is there a penalty save in there too? No, just good old-fashioned goalkeeping. Fantastic. Pretty much maxed out his score too, which you'd love to see. So, fantastic. I guess in terms of transfers this week, we do have a bit of time. We've got the, last international game week for the year. this weekend coming up. So we've got 2 weeks. We've got 4 transfers up our sleeves. So we were sort of, trying to push with our initial wildcard team to this point, knowing that there would have to be some moves made. What those moves are, I'm not 100% sure yet, but I'll talk about some ideas. I think the main one is looking to get Palmer in. You can see that his price point's quite high, but 84 points is clear and above most of the returns. Even higher than Haaland at the 15.2. So it stands to reason that Palmer is pretty good value. Um, especially if you take Haaland's cash, you could probably double up with a Saka type pick. Or the other one that I'm really interested in with the change of management is Bruno Fernandes at Man United. So looks like the sort of player that would flourish under Amorim's system. And at 8.3 could be, the bargain buy of the season if you get on him at this point. So obviously, if we're going Palmer and Fernandes, it's probably going to come at the cost of Haaland. So if we take out Haaland, in terms of our, who do we keep in our midfield? Ideally, I'd love it to probably be Smith Rowe and Mbeumo. Mbeumo third overall on points, that more attacking option, and Smith Rowe just gets returns for his cheap price point. So if we plug in Fernandes, plug in Palmer, it does give us 8.4. So it does give us a lot of options around our third striker. Perhaps not Watkins, but Wood is definitely an option. Jackson potentially. I know we've sort of talked about getting Palmer in for his good fixture run. Guaranteed sort of big minutes at number 9 for Chelsea with those fixtures. Could be a good shout also. Cunha's been going well. 2 goals, 2 assists in his last 3. Has a nice run coming up. So potentially could be one to consider. Visser obviously scored 2 goals. Back from his sort of injury and up and running now, playing the 90 minutes. Decent run. Villa's probably a tougher one. But they do have a super tough run over Christmas. So, one not for the long term, but definitely could be a good short to medium term option. I think we just have enough for Isak. So if we sort of believe in that pick, could potentially get on there. Solanke is an option. Obviously, didn't go well this week against Ipswich. Has a tough one against Man City. So potentially worth looking at afterwards when they get a sort of okay run. Probably Chelsea's a bit tough. Liverpool's tough. So 3 out of the next 6. Maybe not Solanke. And then, I think we're going real sort of wide after that. So maybe just the tiebreaker might just be going for a bit of a differential, I think. So sort by teams selected by. So in the forwards, so Wood is the most popular, then Jackson, then Cunha and Visser, very similar as a sort of pod option. I was hoping Jackson was a bit less, actually. I am pretty keen on him. So I think we would just go it. So 3 transfers. We do have one up our sleeve. But in saying that, I think what we're going to have to do is use it on Kelleher. Just Allison is expected back in game week 12. So we've sort of got what we wanted out of Kelleher. And Fabianski looks to have usurped Areola there at West Ham. So, the fixture run isn't fantastic, but we do have Sanchez. So, a $4 million keeper that's playing is a handy backup for Sanchez. It does free up a bit of budget too, so 0.9, which could come in handy, in the future. So, not going to quite commit to the trades yet. There is obviously that temptation to just hit make transfers, but given we've got quite a bit of budget, do want to do a little bit more analysis around Amarim, um, and potentially looking at the likes of maybe a Mazraoui as a wingback could come into the team. Because I don't know if there's an option where we could get all of these guys plus Haaland back in. So if I reset, so I guess what we would have to do in that case is we'd probably have to drop Mbermo, just to get Palmer in. Um, and then basically we're chopping our defence right down. So it probably would be someone like a Mazraoui, and then, another cheap option. Might even be going all the way down to someone like a Harwood Bellis, at the $4 million sort of areas. So 8.1, I don't think is quite enough to get Fernandez in. Although I suppose you'd have to use another two transfers, I think, to bring in um, the goalkeeper. So, what was his name? Fabianski. Gone the wrong way. Should be right there. Yeah, so we can do it. It will cost us 4 points though. But in saying that, we do end up with a pretty stacked midfield with Palmer, Salah, Fernandez, and we keep Haaland. So it will just cost us that extra bit to downgrade our defense to accommodate those other pieces. So that's the other option. If we want to keep Haaland, it is possible. And I'm not completely uncomfortable with this. If we look at the overall, if I go back to all players and we go by total points, right, you'll notice that at the moment it's actually Van Dijk who's the top defender with 56, and that's mostly off the back of clean sheets. Scored one goal, one assist as well, interestingly enough. But it's just off the strength of 6 clean sheets and just being that ever-present defender there at the Reds. But you compare that to, there's 5 midfielders that are ahead of that 56-point range. There's 4 or 5 forwards that are scoring more. So, on balance, you're going to get most of your scoring from your front 7, right, and play 3 at the back. So, I don't mind having Harwood Bellis as the 5th defender. Can rotate basically between Nuri and Justin, just depending on matchup. And then basically same thing with the forward line, probably rotating through these 3. Although based on form, it's probably Jimenez that sits out more often than not. So, yeah, obviously if Haaland's gone, it does give us a bit more balance in the team, but it also gives us no Erling Haaland. So despite Man City's sort of stumbles, a couple of tough fixtures coming up, I think in the long term you do want to keep Haaland. So it is an interesting one. Is it worth 4 points essentially to keep Haaland? But still, really stacking up the midfield with, Palmer obviously has shown that he's going good. And Fernandez is a bit of a punt, but I just think with the new management, he is the key to Man United going forward. It does feel a little bit yuck having 2 Man U guys, only 1 Liverpool guy, but you do what you can. So we'll wrap the video up there. Obviously not committing to any transfers at this time. But we will do a preview video given there is an international break, and discuss any transfers that have been made during that time. Because I guess, this sort of setup, for example, there's only a budget of 0.2, so a little bit less room to move if we do want to, play the guns, I suppose. So, as always, if you've got any questions, comments, thoughts, feel free to add them below this video. Give us a like if you enjoy the FPL content. Subscribe for all the fantasy sports content on the channel. And other than that, we'll catch you in the next one.